What's going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs? You are listening to another episode of Hardcore Geek Wrestling, and as always, I'm your host, Ryan, a.k.a. Mr. Showtime, and we got a lot to talk about today. A lot of things happening within the last few days, probably within the last, 4 or 5 days, period. We got a lot of cool stuff going on in the wacky world of professional wrestling, especially WWE. I'm going to try to cover it all today in a really nice and quick episode. Guys, as always, you can follow us on Twitter at geekwrestling.com. I'm not geekwrestling.com, but just at Geek or at Geek Wrestling. Jesus. We're also on iTunes and Podbean and right here on Spreaker.com. You can find all of our past episodes on all those outlets, and then also on our website, hardcoregeekcast.com. Again, that's hardcoregeekcast.com. Guys, I'm gonna go solo today. I had some stuff going on. I had to take care of some family matters, and had to take care of some other stuff I don't really want to get into. But regardless, I do want to make sure that I do cover what I thought about WWE TLC 2017, the fallout on Monday Night Raw, what I'm expecting for Tuesday Night SmackDown Live, and of course Survivor Series. We also have some crazy news about Double J Jeff Jarrett, so we're going to get into all that and more. Before we get into that, I do want to thank all you guys for all your listens, your downloads, your subscriptions. Thank you for checking out our other podcast, our flagship podcast, the Hardcore Geek Podcast. If you're into comic book, movies, video games, anything like super retro and geeky, that's what we're there for. And then right here, Hardcore Geek Wrestling, we're an extension of that, where we talk all things pro wrestling. So, this happened on Friday afternoon. First of all, leading into WWE TLC, we knew that we were going to be getting, or at least we thought, we were going to be getting the main event, which was going to be a 5-on-3 handicap match, which was also a TLC match. It was going to be The Miz, Sheamus, Cesaro, Kane, Braun Strowman, and they're going to be taking on the newly reformed Shield, comprised of Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns, of course. Another one of the big matches we were going to be getting Asuka making her debut against Emma. We also had the Cruiserweight Championship. We had Kalisto taking on Enzo Amore after he defeated Enzo kind of out of nowhere. Mickie James was going to be taking on Alexa Bliss for the Women's Championship. And then, of course, we had AJ Styles taking on, not AJ Styles. We had Finn Balor, the Demon Finn Balor, in his weird pumpkin makeup, is going to be taking on Sister Abigail. So that's what we thought we were going to be getting going into TLC. Kind of like a fun pay-per-view, I guess, and still, in my opinion, a little bit of a throwaway. I was excited about the Shield getting back together and seeing them, especially because they are wearing their old school tactical gear and all that. Even Roman had the little dog tags, which was kind of cool. But all of a sudden, this is Friday night. I'm actually working a little late at work. So I think this announcement probably comes out around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock-ish. And we get a notification from WWE.com that, first we kind of thought that Bray might be missing TLC. We weren't sure. We heard that he was sick. We heard Bo was sick, but they went through with the storyline, so I didn't think anything of it. But we got a notification saying that both Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt were not going to be able to make the pay-per-view on Sunday, and the matches were going to be dramatically changed, and dramatically in the fact that Kurt Angle, the current Raw general manager, WWE Hall of Famer, superstar all around, Kurt Angle is going to be making his return to the ring on Sunday to team with none other than Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose to take Roman Reigns' place in that 5-on-3 handicap match. That was huge news. Ever since Kurt came back to the WWE, we all thought about him getting back in the ring, and, you know, who is he going to go against? Was he going to go against Triple H? Were we going to get that dream match against Brock Lesnar? Were we going to get, like, something that we never saw before? Maybe, like, Angle and Cesaro one-on-one, or, like, Angle and Samoa Joe, like, a callback to their TNA days, right? We did not get that. We just got him thrown in. No build-up at all, which was, you know, you could tell WWE was really scrambling at this point, and you can't blame them, you know? So, from what I understand, they were checking for viral meningitis. I believe it turned out to be the mumps. I think at least that's what it is with Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns was not going to make it. Kurt Angle was going to be in his place. So right then and there, I'm like, oh, holy crap, I'm super excited for TLC, right? And I talked to all the boys and the other crew, and they're like super excited for Kurt Angle coming back. There was a small part of me that was a little disappointed that we weren't going to get the Shield reunion, but, you know, it is all right, you know. I believe as soon as Roman gets healthy again, we'll get that match. It'll be a make good from the WWE. But not only did we get Kurt Angle coming back, but we got AJ Styles coming over from SmackDown Live to fill in for Bray Wyatt, and he's going to take on the Demon Finn Balor. And so Finn Balor is still going to be the Demon, and this is the one I was actually more excited for, just because AJ Styles is my favorite wrestler. Okay, favorite current wrestler right now. Has been since, you know, he was in TNA, right? I love Finn Balor as well. I think he's great. I especially love the Demon gimmick. I like how they use it sparingly, which is good. And I think that this was better than Bray versus Finn, because you have the ties to New Japan, you have the ties to the Bullet Club. They alluded to that, of course, which was great. And to top it off, these are two guys that are just superstars in the ring. Like, they're amazing in-ring performers. The arsenals are great. They're fun to watch. The entrances are great. They got the whole 9 yards, okay? So we were going to be getting this. So I, all of a sudden, got super excited for TLC. It was almost like it was like a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania or a Royal Rumble, you know? Like, maybe not to that caliber, but from going 2 days' notice to, you know, Kurt Angle coming back, and I'm going to get AJ versus Finn, plus we're getting Asuka's debut. That was pretty awesome, to say the least. So we're going to get into all that. I'm going to take a quick drink of water here. This show is brought to you by Water. It's our official sponsor of Hardcore Geek Wrestling. Water. Drink it or you'll die. All right, so I'm going to get into the matches here. I actually wrote some notes here. I kind of graded everything on a 5-point scale, so I'm going to Meltzer the shit out of this. So, and I don't think these are in order. They're in order to my memory, okay? First of all, on the kickoff show, we got a rematch from Sasha Banks and Alicia Fox. They had a pretty decent match on Raw. Alicia kind of went crazy and beat up the ref, attacked Sasha backstage, and we were going to get this on the kickoff show. Needless to say, this was a very, very good match. Like, to the point where Alicia Fox, you know, and I know she's been with the company for, I want to say, maybe 10 years or so. I think she debuted in 2007. I could be wrong. But she was so good in this match. Like, not only, like, her character, and you know what? Personally, my personal preference, I could do without, like, the over-the-top craziness of her character, but you know what? It is something that they're doing with her. She's actually got a t-shirt out, which was cool, and it was kind of funny because, you know, one of her segments about a week or two ago was, "Where's my t-shirt? Why don't I have a t-shirt?" You know, now she has the Crazy as a Fox t-shirt, which is kind of cool, right? And of course, Sasha Banks. I'm always going to love Sasha Banks. I know, like, the way they've kind of handled her character since coming to the main roster, it's been kind of iffy. Especially when, you know, she's only had, like, every time she's had the women's title, she's lost it in her defense of it, like, immediately. So that's kind of weird, but I still like Sasha Banks. I think she has a nice arsenal. She's very easy on the eyes, of course. You know that, fellas. And, you know, I just like her gimmick, you know. I really want to see a heel Sasha Banks, though. I think that's where maybe creative is kind of getting a little stale with her. And that's just because she's still that babyface, and I think the boss character, in a whole, is really a heel character if you think about it. I really thought we were going to maybe get that when Bayley came back, but, maybe going forward, we got some stuff coming up soon, so I think that might be why Sasha's been kind of fluctuating on the roster. Getting back to the match, though, this was really good. I really think that they must have had a meeting with everybody on the roster prior to the show, just telling them to really step it up, just because they were going absolutely balls out on here. Like, I really love the spots with the Northern Lights suplex from Alicia Fox. It really displays, like, for as tall as she is, that move actually looks real cool when she does it. A lot of, like, real stiff kicks to the head. Eventually, I think there was a spot, I think I missed it, like, where Alicia, like, tried to pin Sasha on the floor, which is kind of weird. And that kind of just goes to her kind of being kind of crazy and having a screw loose. But at the end of the day, Alicia Fox did end up tapping out to the bank statement. Really good match. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 because I really think it was a good opener, Even though it was not technically the opener, it was the kickoff show, but the crowd was really behind them. Alicia played to the crowd really well. Sasha did well in her babyface role. So, and of course, we got to see the fallout of this on Raw, which I'll get to. The actual opener of the event, I didn't think they were going to go with this, but now kind of seeing all the other matches, it had to be this one, and that was Asuka making her debut against Emma. Had a little bit more water, guys. Sorry, just getting over flu, actually. So Emma comes out. I still can't stand her music. I don't know why they changed her music. I think they changed it twice. It's just real generic and just I don't know. It just doesn't really seem to fit her character. I like the evil Emma music personally, but that's me. At least we have it on WWE 2K18, right? So then all of a sudden the lights go out. We see like an image of Asuka's mask on the Titantron, and I thought they were going to do like a crazy super like WrestleMania-esque entrance, but they didn't. They just kind of teased it, and then Asuka's music hits. Hell of a pop from Asuka. A hell of a pop from the crowd for Asuka. Made a great entrance. Looks to be in great shape, obviously. And I like this because they kind of had like a little mini feud back in NXT between Asuka and Emma and Dana Brooke when Asuka debuted. So it's a nice little callback. I actually got to go to an NXT house show where I believe this was legit that Asuka actually kicked Emma and knocked her out by accident. So it was we had a 2-second match. They just like stopped the match in the middle. So that was kind of a crazy situation there. But regardless, it was nice to see these two pair up again. And it was really nice to see WWE give them time. Okay, I was really expecting this to be like a Goldberg squash, but it wasn't. Asuka allowed Emma to get a lot of offense in, a lot of good offense, to the point where there's a little tiny voice in the back of my head saying, "Oh my God, are they really going to do this?" Where they get rid of, or they don't get rid of her, but they end the streak like right now, like they try to make a storyline out of Asuka losing her main roster debut, just because of how much offense Emma was getting in. There was a lot of near falls. A real cool spot where she had Asuka tied up in the tree of woe in the corner, and just these vicious kicks to the back. There was also a spot where Asuka had Emma in the ankle lock, and she the way she bent her leg, it looked like it really wasn't supposed to bend that way. So that looked kind of gruesome. You can go back on the network and watch it. But eventually, Asuka got some great offense in, a lot of her signature offense, a lot of kicks to the head. I like that German suplex, that flying like rear end bump, whatever it is. And then she got her in that Asuka lock, and it was a real vicious Asuka lock where she just kind of grabbed her and like spun her to the ground. And Emma put up a hell of a fight, but Asuka does win her debut. And I'm actually going to be doing a special on either on here or on my YouTube channel of how I think they should book the Women's Championship on Raw between now and WrestleMania, because I really have a good idea. I'm sure it's an idea everybody else has, but it's just an obvious thing. So stay tuned for that. But I gave this one 3 stars just because I really think that and it's I didn't want to rate it lower than Alicia and Sasha, but I think that there was like a lot. There was a little bit of clunkiness at first, and I think just a little bit of ring rust. Nothing bad. It was still a phenomenal match. I can't wait to see Asuka tear it up with Bayley again, and with Sasha, and with everybody else on the Raw roster. That's what I'm looking forward to. Next match that I have on here. This is a cruiserweight tag team match. First of all, we had Nigel McGuinness, and I can't remember the other guy, but they were doing commentary for this match. It was Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick taking on Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. And it was I don't remember them actually booking this match. I think maybe I just forgot about it. I have been trying to watch 205 Live, but I just don't remember this match happening, and maybe it was a bonus match. I don't know. But it was actually pretty good, right? It was to the point where it like I said, everybody I think stepped up their game. Really good spot when Brian Kendrick had Cedric Alexander and the Captain's Hook, and Rich Swann breaks it up by doing the damn Phoenix Splash off the top rope on the Kendrick, which was really awesome. A lot of hard-hitting offense, especially from Jack Gallagher. I love that headbutt. It just sounds so sickening when he hits it. And it makes you cringe every single time for both guys. It makes you just think of, I can't remember the guy's name from New Japan. It's driving me nuts. I don't know if it was, it wasn't Kushida. I can't remember. Damn it, I can't remember. The guy who, headbutted the guy, and he, pretty much ended his own career by doing that in real life. So makes you cringe a little bit when you see and hear those things, but regardless, we got Alexander and Rich Swann getting the win here. The lumbar check from Cedric Alexander, it's such a good move. Seriously, it's kind of the way that I see it. It looks like it's a safe move as long as you know how to execute it from the person taking the move, and it just looks brutal and it's great, and it really keeps me wondering, why is Cedric Alexander not in the Cruiserweight Championship picture? For as good as he is, and especially if you go back to the Cruiserweight Classic and you see his match with Ibushi, it was insane. Just the way they you just got to go back and watch the match, seriously. And they got the standing ovation for Cedric, and the crowd chanting, "Please sign Cedric," and then Triple H comes out and raises his hand. It was such an awesome moment. It's one of those things that I would still go back and watch on the WWE Network. So this one I rated 2.5 stars. I thought it was pretty good. I think it was just I wasn't invested in it because I just I don't know. I guess I just forgot about the match. I know they had a good story building up between the four of them, but that's really it. So good match regardless. What else do we have here? We had Mickie James taking on Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship, and then we had the story between the two where Alexa was calling Mickie old, and she had her locker room stocked with a bunch of walkers and the pens and all that. I'm sorry, but Mickie James is still hot as hell. Seriously, I don't care how old she is. I think she might be in her 40s, maybe. I don't know, maybe. But I don't know. I'm 33. I don't think she's that much older than me, so. We'll have to. Maybe I'll Wikipedia it, but Mickie James is really good in the ring. I really am kind of disappointed on how she's been used since coming back to the WWE. I really think her best match was when she had the match with Asuka back in NXT Takeover, last winter. I think it was last November, maybe. But it was nice to see her in an actual program and really get some mic time and really get some good wins, and just leading up to the match. And of course, Alexa Bliss is your perfect heel champion in this situation. It's just she's sneaky, she's cowardless, and that's the best. That's what you want from a heel champion. But at the end of the day, she still gets the job done. This was no difference here. I don't want to say this was the best match between the two, but I think it was good storytelling wise. Mickie really getting the best of Alexa to the point where Alexa was getting frustrated. She at the very end she was cowering in the corner, and it turned out to be a good psych out where she pulls Mickie James into the corner where Mickie hits a shoulder she had previously gotten worked on by Alexa Bliss during the match. Alexa hits that brutal DDT on the Mickie James, and she retains the Raw Women's Championship. After the match, Mickie James does give a nice little heartfelt speech saying, thanking the WWE Universe, thanking everybody in the back, and saying that, she's not going to be, in the background anymore. This won't be the last time you see her on a pay-per-view and the last time you see her in the Raw Women's Championship picture. So that remains to be seen. I really think that it'd be cool to have her get maybe one more reign, whether it's the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship. But, we'll go from there. All right, from here we got the Cruiserweight Championship. We got Enzo Amore challenging the new champion, Kalisto. I love Kalisto's new look. I love as Enzo Amore calls him, a big bad Beetleborg or a Power Ranger. It's probably just because I'm a comic book geek and I love luchadors. I love the new mask with the eye face paint in the background. Just makes it look that much cooler. And I think there's a lack of luchadors on the Raw roster, on the Cruiserweight roster. I think what do we got? We got Sin Cara, we got Kalisto, we got Lince Dorado, which I haven't seen in a while. We have Grand Metalik, and I think that's it, really, if I'm not mistaken. But this is an okay match. I think one of the best parts is that Enzo, I guess he was sick and he lost his voice, so that was always a good thing. Still managed to cut a promo. And this match was okay. The thing is that the crowd was really dead for it for some reason. These guys really worked their butts off, and that's kind of a shame with the way that the crowd was. And I think it's just the stigma of the Cruiserweight division, and I know they're trying their best to keep it going as best as they can. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. The crowd's either your diehards are going to be into it, or no one's going to be into it. That's just how I feel about it. But this match was, pretty good. It was a short match. Enzo actually worked a nice heel, a nice heel match, I guess you can call it. And a lot of stomping, kicking, real underhanded moves. I like his top rope or middle rope DDT. Always looks nice. A finish came where Enzo was trying to escape Kalisto, and he's being dragged back into the ring. He's grabbing onto the ring apron. This allows the referee to go over and try to fix the ring apron for some reason, which opens up an opportunity for Enzo to blatantly finger poke Enzo right in the eye and hit the credenza. I think that's the name of his finisher. Basically, the eat the feet. And he defeats Kalisto. Enzo Amore is your new and two-time Cruiserweight champion. So, love him or hate him, I'm not a fan of him, but you know what? I guess that means that he's doing his job because he's a heel. He's that heel that nobody likes, and he's going to be that guy that once we have that one Cruiserweight that everybody gets behind, once that Cruiserweight knocks him off for the title, it's going to mean that much more. So, I guess in this situation, you got to have a heel champion. Okay? That one I gave 2.5 stars. I thought it was pretty good, for what it was. It was nice, quick, and it continued the storyline, which was good, From here, we got AJ Styles taking on Finn Balor, the Demon Finn Balor. So AJ coming out wearing SmackDown blue. Apparently he took the red eye from Argentina. He was on the Argentina tour the night or 2 nights before. I think it was literally the night before. And he came right to the pay-per-view and was ready to go for this match. Finn Balor comes out not in the pumpkin, the Pumpkin King, I guess you can call it. That's what everybody's calling his makeup. They were teasing for the Bray Wyatt feud, the black and orange. Comes out in the more traditional black, white, and red. Face paint looked really good coming down. Looked like he was ready, It just seemed like this match had a lot of I can't even say build up. I think it's just anticipation because we've always wanted these two to go at it ever since, Finn shows up, and then all of a sudden when AJ shows up 2 years later, and now it's like, okay, now we have to have the two former leaders of the Bullet Club go against each other. We never thought it was going to be under these circumstances, but this match was absolutely amazing, okay? At first, and I think it's because literally it's the first time that they've ever met in the ring. and it was a little shaky at first. You could tell it was a little bit of hesitation from each man from time to time, but eventually they just opened up, and like there was a lot of awesome spots. A lot of in particular, there was a springboard Hurricane Rana from AJ to Finn. There was the running punt kick on the ring apron from Finn to AJ. Of course, we got a lot of high-flying spots. We got a lot of reversals, too, like from the 1916. AJ tried to hit that as well. And we got the reversal into the lifting reverse DDT, which was very awesome. And, God, man, it's so good. And then the Finn selling the calf crusher was really good, too. And that really kind of, opened up a little bit more of the storyline of this match in particular, of AJ kind of working against Finn and his bad leg. Eventually, Finn Balor did hit the shotgun dropkick and nailed a nasty and brutal coup de grace and defeated AJ Styles 1-2-3 in the middle of the ring. After the match, both men stood, faced each other, faced off, and of course they too sweeted each other, which was probably the moment of the night in my opinion. So hopefully, maybe in the future we'll get a rematch. That's what I'm hoping for. We got one more match before the main event. Oh, the AJ Styles versus Finn Balor, I did that 4.5 stars. I thought it was near perfect. Just amazing. Throughout the night, we got some interactions from the crowd and Elias, like he kept trying to do a concert all night. Prior to that, he was kind of, he talked some shit to Jason Jordan in the backstage area. So throughout the whole night, Elias is trying to do this concert, and Jason Jordan just shows up and throws produce at him, which is kind of weird. So he got interrupted twice, and eventually it just turned into a bonus match. It was alright, I'm not invested in Jason Jordan at all. I just can't get behind his character. I don't know. It's terrible. That's just how I feel about him. Elias, I dig him. I think he has a cool look, nice cool finisher. This was a decent match, I guess. I mean, it was no build-up, no nothing. Jason Jordan got the win with a roll-up, but Elias clearly kicked out at 2. Even the referees, or not the referees, but the announcers called it out. They showed a replay. He clearly kicked out at 2. And then, hopefully we're going to get, Elias getting some kind of revenge on Jason Jordan. But I get that 2.5 stars just because it was a decently worked match. It just didn't do it for me personally. From here, we have the main event. We have the 5-on-3 TLC match. Now, very notable about this pay-per-view is that it only had one gimmick match, which was a TLC match. So we didn't get any other tables matches. We didn't get any other ladder matches, no chairs matches. Thank God, no stairs matches. If anybody remembers that from 2014. But this is the only TLC match, and we got 3 women's matches on the show, which was great. They are all wonderful, right? So we got everybody making their entrance. We got The Miz, Cesaro, and Sheamus. We got Braun Strowman and Kane in the ring. And all of a sudden, the Shield music hits. Now, prior to this, backstage, Kurt Angle's warming up, and they tease the fact that Rollins and Ambrose bring him a tactical vest, like a Shield outfit. I didn't think they were really going to go through with it, so they hit the Shield music, and Ambrose and Rollins are coming through the crowd, and all of a sudden, Kurt pops up behind them in the Shield outfit, which was actually pretty awesome. And the crowd pop. You could tell Kurt was having such a ball, He's probably just so happy to be back in the ring. This match was pure mayhem. It was just nonstop. Like everybody from the very beginning, like everybody in the Shield, grabbing chairs. It was a brawl. There's very few actual wrestling holds in this match. So I kind of want to break it down into 3 parts. We have the beginning part where it's just an all-out brawl between the 8 men involved. We saw some German suplexes from Kurt Angle. We saw Braun Strowman destroying pretty much everybody. We saw a little bit of tension between Braun and Kane as well. There was a really scary spot where Ambrose and Rollins set up 2 ladders right outside the ring where the announce tables are. They have Kane and Strowman on the announce tables where they both jump off. They crash through. immediately Seth Rollins clutches his knee. So it was really, really scary. I was so worried. Everybody on Twitter was really worried that he had seriously hurt his knee. That was not to be the case. During this part, Braun Strowman running power slams Kurt Angle through a table, and it actually looked like Kurt was hurt. He sold it really well. They kind of bring him to the back, and all of a sudden it's 5-on-2. So they're kicking the crap out of Rollins and Ambrose. Rollins was just fine, by the way, which is good. They get to the point where they bring in a dump truck, like literally like a garbage truck, and they try to drag Ambrose and Rollins so they can throw them in this garbage truck for some reason. So apparently it's a dumpster match now. From here, everything kind of breaks down. There's another brawl, and then there's some miscommunication between Strowman and Kane again, to the point where Kane just lays out Braun Strowman. He chokeslams him off the stage, and then there's the hanging chairs that are part of the set. He grabs them and just throws them all on top of Braun Strowman. Strowman does get up eventually and starts fighting his own team, to the point where Miz, Cesaro, Sheamus, and Kane do throw Braun Strowman into this garbage truck, and then they essentially murder the man because they turn on the compactor part. So apparently we just all witnessed a murder on this pay-per-view. I believe the crowd was actually chanting that was murder, which was actually kind of funny. From here, they still, we saw a double choke slam from Kane, Rollins, and Ambrose going through some tables. They start brawling back to the ring, to the point where they're about, the remaining 4 members of Miz's team are about to finish off the last 2 members of the Shield, where Kurt Angle's music hits. He comes out not wearing the red, white, and blue singlet, but he's still wearing his Shield stuff. Comes out, he's just back body drops Sheamus onto the Cesaro onto the ramp, hits an Angle slam on the Sheamus onto the ramp. Cesaro gets up, Angle hits another Angle slam through a table onto Cesaro, and this is where Angle's just, you could tell he's in the zone. He gets in there, he starts throwing down with Kane. Kane gets the upper hand where he's about to tombstone him, but then the Shield come in, block it. Miz eventually hits the skull crushing finale onto Angle. Angle kicks out. Miz goes for another skull crushing finale. Angle reverses it into an ankle lock. And then eventually that gets broken up to the point where, Kane is taken out. Sheamus and Cesaro is taken out. And then it's just the Miz with the 3 members of the Shield 2.0. They hit the Shield Powerbomb, quoted by, I think, Corey Graves as the Olympic Shield Bomb. And 1, 2, 3, the Shield gets the win over Team Miz. So it was a really cool moment, really fun match. That's really how I can describe it, is just fun. Okay? Other than that, I think I gave that match 4 stars. I think it was a lot of fun. It just was not, I don't think it was at like AJ Balor level, but it was definitely something that I was really excited to watch. I think it paid off. And I think at the end of the day, these changes really made WWE look good. So, kudos to them. And kudos to, everybody else that made the sacrifice to change these matches up last minute. So that is very, very, very heartwarming. The fact that everybody was able to come together and just do a kick-ass job here. So that was WWE TLC. I really enjoyed it, and that's really all I got to say about that. We actually got some other news on Monday. This is prior to Monday Night Raw. This is actually from Impact Wrestling, GFW if you want to call it. Apparently, Jeff Jarrett was supposed to be at a indie show this weekend. I guess he showed up completely intoxicated, wrestled a really shitty match. I'm trying to read through everything again. More or less, Impact Wrestling officially has severed all professional ties with Jeff Jarrett and Global Force Wrestling, and it's sad because it's just such a mess. Because Global Force Wrestling, or TNA, whatever you want to call it, it's just there's so many start stops here. This is actually an official quote from Impact Wrestling. It says, Impact Wrestling announced today that it has terminated its business relationship with Jeff Jarrett and Global Force Entertainment, Inc., effective immediately. So it leads you to think that, are we going to go back to the TNA name? Is it just Impact Wrestling? Obviously, they spent all the money for all this new Global Force stuff. They've taped all their stuff in advance. They have all new championship belts with the Global Force name on it. And Bound for Glory is coming up on November 5th, which is 2 weeks away, right? So it's just crazy that this is happening right now. I just wish that, I wish TNA the best, but doesn't really look like that's going to be the case going forward. But that's, that's just some other news I want to cover today. I'm a TNA fan. I actually used to watch TNA back when they used to do the Wednesday pay-per-views, I think they were like $9.99 pay-per-views, and I would order those randomly. So, because they didn't have a TV deal, so that's how I'd watch them. I'd watch it and buy the DVDs, and that's how I learned about NWA TNA, and I followed TNA and Impact Wrestling, and actually had an opportunity to go to an Impact taping back in 2013. So, I know from time to time I do trash TNA just because it is, they have a lot of good workers, but it's just the management just doesn't seem to, know their ass from a hole in the ground. But that's just all I have to say about that. So let's talk about Monday Night Raw. We got a few minutes left in the show. Monday Night Raw was fun. We got AJ Styles teaming with the Shield to take on Miz, Sheamus, and Cesaro. So that was actually a real fun match. I actually missed the finish because my wife called me in the room. She was watching a replay of Dancing with the Stars, and she wanted to show me that John Cena was on there. So I got to go see John Cena stand on the Dancing with the Stars set, and I missed the finish of the opening match. So my fault, we saw Mickie James get a little bit of revenge on Alexa Bliss. Alexa came out to cut a promo on Mickie, and Mickie James came out and super kicked her and beat her up, and that was it. So, got a little bit of revenge for Mickie. I'm sorry, my voice is starting to go. Some big stuff that came out of Monday Night Raw is Kurt Angle announced the first matches for WWE Survivor Series. We're going to be going again with the SmackDown versus Raw theme, I guess you can call it. So we're going to be getting Alexa Bliss, the Raw Women's Champion, going against SmackDown Live's Champion, Natalya. We're going to be having Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose taking on the Usos, which I cannot wait for that match. We're also going to be getting Jinder Mahal taking on Brock Lesnar, so that's official. And we have The Miz taking on Baron Corbin. So all the respective champions are going to be facing each other. Also, they're going to be having a 5-on-5 men's match, elimination match, Survivor Series match, and a women's match, which is very nice. We got Kane. He came out, cut a promo on Braun Strowman. Braun did not come out. Kane just basically had an open challenge. He said he wants some competition. This triggered Finn Balor to come out. No demon makeup, just regular Finn Balor, which was fine. Really good match. Kane did get the win over Finn with 3 choke slams. I saw a lot of people kind of complain about this on Twitter, and I get it, We all want Finn to just be like the most dominant dude in the world. I get it, but we're not always going to get what we want, and especially when they're trying to bring Kane in, which for what I'm thinking is going to be his last hurrah, like his final run. And I believe this is all leading to him and Braun Strowman. So you want Kane to look strong leading into a match with Braun Strowman, because when Braun Strowman eventually defeats Kane, it's going to mean that much more. So Kane going over Finn Balor is not a huge... It doesn't make me upset, especially because it took 3 choke slams to beat him, So it is what it is. It was a good match, and they just leave it at that. I think Finn's got bigger things coming up soon, actually. What else happened on the show? I'm sorry, I'm just kind of all over the place. We got a little cruiserweight segment with good guys versus bad guys. I don't know, it didn't really do it for me. We got the triple threat match between Sasha Banks, Alicia Fox, and Bayley to determine the captain of the women's team. And that was won by Alicia Fox, actually, by pinning Bayley. We also got Paul Heyman coming out, cut a scathing promo on Jinder Mahal, and really, really started shooting and talking about last time a SmackDown Live competitor got in the ring with Brock Lesnar, he broke every PG rule there is. Pretty nice promo. Of course, Brock just stands there. It's just what Brock does. But I can't wait to see what happens on SmackDown. We also were going to be getting the announcement of the I think I'm forgetting something, but we'll just go to the main thing that happened. Is Kurt Angle actually prior in the night was greeted by Shane McMahon. Shane was there. They were very cordial. And Kurt comes out and he's about to announce the 5 members of the men's elimination match. That triggers Shane McMahon's music. He shows up with the entire SmackDown locker room. They surround the ring. He says the phrase "under siege." Kurt goes to the back. The rest of the SmackDown locker room literally goes in the back, decimates the entire Raw locker room. This is the men of SmackDown and the women of SmackDown just taking out the entire Raw locker room to the point where the last one standing is Kurt Angle. They carry him out to the ring. Shane says that, bring your gold medals, bring all your best guys, bring what you have left of the Raw roster, because we're going to decimate you at Survivor Series. And then Shane and SmackDown, they all leave through the crowd, and that leaves Kurt Angle in the ring. He looked really visibly shook up. And more importantly, it makes me really excited to watch SmackDown Live tonight. So I cannot wait to check that out. It's going to be on, 5 hours from now? So pretty excited about that. That's really all I have for this week. I'm going to be doing some live gameplay of WWE 2K18 very soon for my game channel. You can check that out at Hardcore Geek Video. I almost forgot the name of my YouTube channel. And of course, check us out for all the past episodes. I'm kind of running out of my voice here because I'm still getting over that flu there. But guys, as always, you can check us out right here on Spreaker.com. Check us out right here on iTunes, on Podbean, and at HardcoreGeekcast.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Showtime84 and follow Hardcore Geek Wrestling at Geek Wrestling. And just find us and tweet with us. Tweet with us during SmackDown and the pay-per-views, right? Other than that, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I want to thank you guys for all your listens, your downloads, your subscriptions, and we will see you all on the next one. Have a good day.